What's going on, everybody? This is Fry. So today I am going to be going through everything that has just changed in Bloons Card Storm 2.0 update. They have just dropped a ton of content, including ranked mode. So I'm going to be going through explaining what they've added. They've added a new hero, new cards, balance patches. We'll be covering everything in this video. So they added ranked mode, which is a really big deal for this game, just to make the day-to-day gameplay more satisfying, that there's something to do other than just sign up and do your, for random battles and do your quests. You actually have something to grow. So it looks like now there are 5 tiers of ranks. It seems like about every 4 matches, at 4 wins, you're going to be going up a tier, up to 2 to 3 to 4, 5, and then after 5 there is Paragon. And even within Paragon there seems to be some kind of system. They're saying that the highest rank is Paragon 99, so that is again something to be able to try to achieve by playing this game when you're grinding. It's really nice to be able to have a rank besides for all the rewards they're giving. It seems like a lot of cards. It looks like the theme that this season is going to be magic monkeys. They're giving a lot of magic monkey tokens before, kind of in between the tiers, and then the tiers themselves are giving monkey money, which you can exchange for a lot of things in the shop. I'll show you that in a second. And then a bunch of random uncommon rare cards, and even once you hit Paragon they're going to be giving a random super rare card, so that is a pretty big deal. I really hope that someday there is going to be in Paragon like some kind of rewards for grinding, like even within Paragon. Maybe if you get to rank 33 there's one reward, 66 one, and then 99 would be a reward, just so there's something a little bit more tangible to hold on to in order to, while you're growing Paragon. Apparently they're not really giving any indication that there is any rewards after you hit Paragon, but this is definitely a good improvement. And again, having the bling and having the bragging rights by your name of seeing your rank, that's a really big deal. I really hope that Paragon, if not now but eventually, is a proper elo system. Not just every 4 wins you go up a rank in Paragon and it's just how much you're grinding, but if you're actually facing an opponent who is a higher rank, you're going to be gaining more points, and if you're facing an opponent who's weaker than you, that win will give you less points. And implementing a proper elo system, and that way you'll be able to really fight for that top spot, that number 1 Paragon spot, and see who really is actual top players in the world. Another little concern, as we see, ends in 72 days. This is very long for a season. Most games will have it be 4 or 5 weeks season, so hopefully this is only going to be the first season that they're making extra long in order to work out any potential bugs or anything that they have to fix. But hopefully we'll be seeing future seasons be a whole lot shorter. This is 10 weeks. Really want to shoot for more like 4 or 5 per season. They've also completely updated the store, so the daily items, they've made all 3 of these. These used to be like smaller amount of tokens. They've really given you ways to purchase using your monkey money that you're gaining from all your quests, so they've really given like a lot of tokens at the bottom. And they've implemented card packs, so instead of it being every single of these 3 purchases, we're just giving you 1 card, these will actually be packs. And if you press the little I here, it does explain not only what you can get in the packs, but also the chances of getting, when you're getting a rare or better, if that's going to be a rare plus, the actual chances, percentages of it being a rare. You can get a super rare and ultra rare. I even just pulled like Sun Temple just from like a random rare plus drop, so that you definitely have a chance of getting the big cards by buying these packs. Next on the agenda, in the store you can go and you can buy the new hero. This is Adora High Priestess. It costs 2,000 monkey money. Let me go through and explain the abilities really quick. The first is Orbs of Light. So this is 5 cost, 5 Bloontonium, and it's going to be doing 32 random balloons. So you can think this is basically on par with Quincy's first ability. That is 3 Bloontonium and it does 30. So this is 5. And it does 60, a little better deal, but it's doing it to random balloons. But honestly, you're not really very often even activating manually your Orbs of Light because of the second passive ability, which is Sun Shield. Now this interacts with Orbs of Light, and it's when an enemy balloon attacks, you lose 3 Bloontonium. So instead of costing 5, it costs 3, and then you're going to trigger your Orbs of Light on that balloon. So this does several things. First of all, makes it way more Bloontonium efficient. Second of all, this essentially adds a defender to Adora's kit naturally, because this is, again, attacking incoming balloons that are leaking to your face. It really means that Adora doesn't really have to run as many defenders naturally, since she does, you know, have this sort of natural passive protection against pink balloons and quick ready and your opponent rushing you down that way. The third ability is going to be 15 Bloontonium. So first of all, sacrifice a friendly monkey. So this will definitely, obviously, synergize very well with the free, zero-cost Dart Monkey. There are also some other little monkeys, very cheap and plentiful, that have been added to the game. I'll be getting to those in a second when I review the new cards. So this says heal 150. It's pretty significant healing. And also trigger orbs of light, so it's going to be doing the 30 damage 2 times. It's actually going to be doing it 3 times, because add an extra orb of light. So this is going to, every single time orb of light after this, after you play your ultimate sacrifice, every time orbs of light is activated, it'll actually be doing 90 damage now instead of 60. It'll be 33 times. That includes your sun shield. So over the course of the game, you can play Ultimate Sacrifice many times, and it says there's going to be a maximum of 8 orbs of light that whenever, again, your first 2 abilities, really all 3 of these abilities, trigger, it'll be gaining and doing more and more throughout the course of the game, really making Adora not, get outscaled, let's say, maybe against a Gwen, late in games. She'll actually have some real significant scaling in her kit. So it also means that you don't really have to be running as much heal, since she has heal built into her kit. So that really gives Adora a lot of flexibility in terms of deck building, that you can really concentrate on your raw defense and your offense and not have to worry so much about defenders and your healing, since those are naturally parts of her kit. I do think that this is a very good hero. I think that this is a really good defensive options, because she's doing a lot of things that other heroes can't, and is filling in a lot of niches that every control deck for sure needs to have, which is healing and defenders. And again gives her a lot of flexibility. I think this is a really good hero. I've definitely tested her out a little bit so far, and I've been very impressed. Just a little game mechanic. Sun Shield will activate several times per turn. So let's say you have, 12 Bloontonium. So it'll go down to 9, and then it'll go down from 9.
You can now sacrifice babies and Bloons card storm.
It'll go from 9 down to it'll go from 12 to 9, and then it'll activate again, going from 9 down to 6. It doesn't activate 2 times on the same balloon, so each balloon can only get hit by Sun Shield 1 time by the passive. But it will, if there's 2 balloons leaking to your face, it will activate separately on each of them, as long as after it activated the first time, you still have the 8 Bloontonium in order to activate the passive. Alright, next I'm going to go through the cards that have been in the game already but have changed, and the most significant ones is the change to several of the heroes. So first of all, Quincy has gotten a really significant nerf to Quincy's Flurry of Arrows. This was the most oppressive ability in the entire game. This used to be 9 Bloontonium, and now it's way more expensive at 12. This does a 50 damage field clear to all enemy balloons, and it was a pretty good deal. Even if your opponent had 2 or 3 balloons on the board, it ended up being really, really effective. You can just spam balloons yourself offense, and this will just be all of your defense that you need. Now it went from 9 to 12. It's going to make it a lot more hard to activate. It's also just going to make it easier to play around. Like, you can look at how much gold your opponent has, and if they don't have the amount of gold to gain up to 12 Bloontonium that turn, that'll give you the ability to spam a bunch of balloons, and you'll know you'll be safe from Flurry of Arrows. Quincy, I think, was hands down the absolute best hero before this, because single-handedly because of Flurry of Arrows, and this will definitely give Quincy some more balancing. Really, really happy to see that. The next change is to Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn's ultimate ability, Flame Strike, has 2 changes to it. First of all, it used to cost 20 Bloontonium, which was very hard to activate. Now it only costs 18, so it's just going to be a little bit easier to get there. It also used to do 200 damage. Now it's doing 250 damage to any balloon that is on fire, so 2 significant buffs. Again, Gwendolyn was a little bit weak. This is a really, really strong part of her kit that was just really, really hard to get up to 20 Bloontonium effectively. Hopefully this will sort of offset that and make it a little bit easier again to get to 18 and make Gwendolyn more effective, especially again in late games where she's burning a lot of things on fire. Be able to absolutely demolish the opponent's boards by doing a big field clear of 250 for 18 Bloontonium. Next, A couple of changes to some hero cards. The first one we got is Storm of Arrows. This used to do 150 damage to 2 random opposing balloons. Was honestly very overpowered. Now it's only doing 120 and also has the random effect, so it could be hitting some balloons that have less than 120 health. I think this is still a really, really good, very nice defensive card. It can do 240 for 2, which is just a huge bailout if your opponent is playing aggressively or has a big play set up. So that is pretty awesome. The next card that got buffed in Quincy's kit is Rapid Shot. Now, this used to be do 30 damage to a random enemy balloon 3 times. So essentially was only doing 90 damage for 3, as opposed to the 2-cost Storm of Arrows was doing 300 damage for 2. Now, this is doing 160 damage for 3, so it still seems a lot worse than Storm of Arrows, which is potentially doing 240 damage for 2. This is doing 160 damage for 3. Obviously, if they only have 1 balloon on the board, I guess this is going to be better, because this will do 160 and the other one that costs 2 will do 120. I feel like that's about the same, though, between the difference between a 2 and 3 cost card. This still seems very weak to me. I kind of want to see this do like a 5th shot, and then it'll be doing a solid 200 damage. It feels like that would just make it more in line, again, with Storm of Arrows in terms of how powerful it is. The next card that got changed is a little bit of a subtle change that people don't realize is Stun Gas Balloon. I'm not sure if this happened in this update or in the last one, but this card has been completely overhauled. Stun Gas Balloon used to be basically a useless card. The opposing monkey would damage it, that monkey would get stunned, and then at the beginning of their next turn they would just get unstunned, and they would be able to attack as normal because the stun duration sort of resets at the end of the monkey's turn. So right after they're stunned, they'll basically get unstunned and be able to attack. They have changed this card that it actually works for an entire cycle of a turn. So again, if a monkey attacks a stun gas balloon, it's not only going to be stunned this turn, that it won't be able to use its second maybe shot of ammo, but it will in fact be stunned for the entire duration of the next turn. That's just a bug fix that Ninja Kiwi did, and it really does make Stun Gas Balloon, especially against mortars or things that can hit this accidentally, can really make this a viable card. The next card that got changed is Bouncing Bullet. This is an 8-cost card. This used to have only 65 damage, and they buffed it to 80 damage, making it just a little bit more. So again, let's do 80 and then 30. And then 30, 30, 30. Just a little buff to a card that was kind of underperforming. The next card that they buffed is Glaive Ricochet, the really expensive 12-coster. This has gone through a series of changes in the game. The most recently, it did 30 damage with 4 shots on a 2 reload, so they made it from 30 to 40, which is pretty significant, because again, that's going to be an extra every single time, every turn this is able to attack. Since it has 4 bullets, it's going to be doing 40 more damage, primary damage, besides for all the little 10 damage it's doing during, to every single other balloon that is in order after the balloon you're attacking. Now that we've gone through the cards that have been changed, we're going to be going through the new cards that have been added to the game, starting with one of my favorite ones that have been added. This is the Dart Monkey Twins. This is the very first monkey that we're seeing have 2 charges. That's what the 2 little gold coins here. So you're able to play 2 of these from your hand with just 1 card. And this will gain plus 10 attack power while next to a Dart Monkey Twin. So you're able to play both of these next to each other, and they're both going to be doing 25 damage. So think about this as 2 cost, 50 damage, which, even let's say Mortar was 2 cost, 40 damage. So this was going to be doing even more damage, and it's also going to be focused. Mortar is going to be attacking something random. The Dart Monkey Twins are going to be, be able to focus their attacks. The disadvantage of this is the fact that it is filling 2 slots, and this really quickly is going to be filling up your board, and you're going to have to not only replace one of the Dart Monkey Twins, but really both of them, because once you replace the first one, the second one loses its extra 10 attack and kind of makes it pretty useless. This is going to be a really, really good card when you're combining it with the Super Monkey Fan Club because it is a Dart Monkey. So this Super Monkey Fan Club will give both of these cards, both of the twins, an extra 10 attack, essentially making them do 35 each, so it's like 70 damage for two. It's going to be a really big deal. I think Dart Monkey twins also are going to be super good with Adora, who needs to sacrifice a monkey for her ultimate ability. So this will be a really good target to be able to sacrifice. It'll also be good, let's say, with the Sun Temple, because Sun Temple, again, likes there to be a lot of monkeys on the board, and that'll just be a really cheap, good at controlling the early game, but then you're able to upgrade the Sun Temple and be able to eat all those monkeys and sacrifice them essentially into gaining a lot of power. So I really do think that even without Super Monkey Fan Club, the Dart Monkey Twins is going to be a staple in a lot of decks. There definitely is a need for an extra early game control just because aggro is very powerful in this game intrinsically, and adding something like this, I really like everything about this card. I'm really, really happy with that, and especially again the Super Monkey Fan Club, which is a really fun card. The synergy there is going to be pretty epic. Next card is a ability ban. So I asked the devs, and they have confirmed that this works on passive abilities, not just active abilities. So this is what it does. Heroes can't use their hero abilities until the end of your next turn. So it's really affecting 3 turns. You can spend all your Plutonium and play all your abilities, then play ability ban, and it's going to make your opponent's passive abilities not work that turn. So if you have Adora with all of her orbs that are going to sort of be defender, those are not going to activate. Quincy, his passive ability that pings all of your balloons you're playing that turn, that's not going to activate. Then on your opponent's next turn, they can't activate any of their abilities, and then the entirety of your next turn, you're also going to be safe from the passive abilities of your opponent. I think that this really is going to be useful in terms of, playing around Quincy's field clear card or ability, or playing, around the sort of defenders that Adora has in order to be able to effectively hit face. This will be a niche card, but good if you want to, kind of kill your opponent all in one turn and not have to worry about their defenses. The next card that was added is Bloon Melter. So this is destroying a target-friendly balloon, and then your opponent takes 20 damage. So for a 2-cost card, the 20 damage doesn't really seem to matter. It really is underpowered. The thing, it's destroying one of your own friendly balloons, which doesn't seem like a good thing. The only use I can see for this in the game right now is when combining it with Volatile Balloon. Here's a balloon, 3 costs 200, and when popped, it does 100 damage to all balloons. So if you have a volatile balloon that you need to activate, it has a lot of health. It's usually not going to pop, but you want to activate it. Using this and combining with, Bloon Melter will really cause a field clear, and, very cheap actually for 5, doing 100 damage to all balloons. So all your opponent's balloons really getting melted. If they're playing some kind of swarm deck. I see that as being a funny combo. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that good, but who knows? Maybe that will be an effective way of playing control. The next card is Divination. This is something specifically Adora can use. This says pick 3, and if it's a monkey, it's going to gain plus 10 attack power. Obviously, this is going to be way more effective on monkeys that have several ammo, because each of those ammo are going to be doing a shot with 10 power. So if it has 3 ammo, it'll really be doing 30 extra damage every single time that it is attacking, every turn it's attacking. The pick 3 is also going to be useful, again, for trying to find a specific card in your deck, which seems to be a theme of this sort of mini set that was released. There's going to be a lot of ways of finding specific cards in your deck, even way more than Divination. We'll get to those soon. So this is going to be a Quincy card. It's enhanced reflexes. Target balloon takes 50 damage, draw a card for 2. So again, when we're comparing this to Storm of Arrows, it seems to really pale in comparison, but at least it's getting a little bit of defensive value and then cycling through your deck. It's drawing a card. It's going to be making sure that you're able to, find specific cards in your deck. I feel like this maybe should be doing a little bit more damage, more like 70, 80, 100, something like that. But it seems like, it seems like a little weak, but who knows? Maybe it'll be, again, good if you're really need to cycle through your deck. The next is Quincy Action Figure. So this is a seemingly very overpowered busted card. This costs 2, so first of all, it can attack, and when it's replaced, so you gotta have 5 monkeys on the board in order to replace this, and when you replace this, you're gaining gold equal to your economy. So essentially, you could be gaining a net of 8 gold from this once you're making 10 gold. See, if you're making, again, 5 gold a turn, this will give you 5 when it's replaced. If you're making 8, if you're making 10, it'll give you 10. So you're spending 2 on this, and you're getting potentially 10 back. This will be very useful in combo decks, a deck that you want to be spending a lot of gold all in one turn. You're playing some double ceramics and you're playing 2 quick readies on, and you really just want a lot of gold in one turn to do a big fancy combo. This will definitely be useful in that. Obviously, again, it does have the conditions of needing a full board of monkeys, but it seems like it's really giving you, again, a lot of value, gaining an instant, essentially 8 gold. On your turn. It costs a card out of your hand. This will also allow you, besides for in combo decks, to be able to just develop a defensive monkey and play like several Moab, several offensive cards, ceramic balloons, that same turn because you have all this extra gold. So that, again, will be useful in just your standard late game control decks, not just in a combo deck. They made, again, several parts of this card prevent you from doing it in the early game. First of all, you have to have a full field of monkeys. Second of all, it's only gold equal to your economy, so you're not able to gain a very quick advantage with the Quincy action figure. Next, here's a really cool card. Here's Rare Power. So it says draw a random rare card from your deck. So again, it costs 2. You're basically adding 2 cost onto any rare card that you're getting. So if you, again, really have a targeted rare card that you need, this is going to be drawing it. I really think this is specifically going to be really useful in decks that are only running 1 or 2 rare cards in them, and cards you specifically need for a big combo. What specifically Quick Ready is a rare. Rare, of course, is going to be any card that has the 3 darts on the bottom, the 3 golden darts. So, if you really need, let's say, double Quick Ready in order to do a combo, this is going to be a great way, because, again, Rare Power is a power that has 2 charges. We have powers with 2 charges now in the game. It's also something they've added. Monkeys with 2 charges, powers with 2 charges. This will be drawing, let's say, both of your Quick Readies from your deck in order to, again, play them and kill them with a big 1-turn kill. I think this will actually be very useful, and I'm really, again, looking forward to doing that deck where you're just stalling, and then grabbing, making a huge Quick Ready combo. Definitely using Rare Power in order to make these combo decks more reliable and you'll be able to get the cards that you actually need. The next card that was added is Spike Storm. So it's a cheap little field clear card. Also has 2 charges. It's going to be doing a 30 damage AoE to all of your opponent's balloons. I really like the fact this is added to the game because it gives heroes that are not Gwen, who has Firestorm, and Quincy, who has the ultimate ability that's a field clear. Just Oben and Amelia really felt like they needed, if they're playing defensive, to be able to have some kind of field clear other than Super Monkey Storm, maybe something a little bit smaller to be able to deal with the Swarm aggro decks, and this definitely provides that. For 4 costs, it's doing 60 as opposed to Gwen's hero cards, which are supposed to be maybe a little stronger. It's 3 for 70. This, you can also use 1 this turn and 1 next turn, so it definitely has that versatility, since again it does have the 2 charges. You can use it whenever you need it. All right, the next card is going to be Bloon Reinforcements. Bloon Reinforcements is 3 costs, and it's going to draw, again, targeted 2 basic balloons from your deck. So if you just go into the collection here and you type in the word basic and you filter for balloons, you kind of see all the basic balloons. You're more or less just like your regular reds, your blues, your nested balloons are also going to be basic. Some of your smaller double balloons, the big double balloons are not basic, they're advanced. But the smaller double balloons are also going to be basic. I don't think it's going to be very useful for that, other than just 3, draw 2 cards. I don't know. Maybe in an aggro deck that really just wants to draw balloons rather than powers, that'll be useful. I think the thing that it'll be much more useful for are the last 2 basic balloons that we see here. First of all, pink balloon. So if you're the only basic balloon in your entire deck, is pink, you're definitely going to be drawing 2 pink balloons out of your deck, which will give you a finisher. Of course, one of the better finishers in this game. That's basically giving you 200 damage right there. So I think there really could be a very fun deck where you're just finishing off your opponent with a swarm of pinks. The other card that it could grab, again, if it's the only basic balloon in your deck, you'll be guaranteed to get it, is the double yellow balloon. There could, again, be where you're playing a series of these with quick readies and maybe with some buffs like fortification, adding a little bit of health to these. There could be a really fun deck where you're, again, really finishing off your opponent with a series of double yellow balloons. So grabbing those guaranteed could be super useful. We'll see how people use the balloon reinforcement card. The next card is Bubble Time. This is going to be a card specifically Amelia can use. This says pick 3, so again, you're going to be presented with a choice of 3 cards from the top of your deck, and you get to pick one to put it into your hand. So first of all, it's giving you a combo piece potentially, and that's definitely a way that Amelia likes to play, setting up a big combo with her middle ability. And also, if it's a power that you pick, so you're going to be gaining 50 shield on your own self, giving you a little extra health, and then it's also going to be giving 50 shield to a random friendly balloon. So giving you, again, a little bit of offense and defense as a package. I really like this card because it's not, again, just picking, it's also doing something to help you survive and help your balloons survive on the board. So this will be a really cool part of Amelia's kit if you are, again, digging for a very specific combo. The next one is in our Darkest Hour. This is 3 cost, draw an ultra rare monkey from your decks. Ultra rare is the highest. Again, it goes rare, super rare, ultra rare. It's going to be the highest rarity. Of course, it's featuring the Sun Temple. It's only grabbing monkeys, not grabbing anything else. No powers or ultra rare balloons, if there are even any. Yeah, there are a couple. So Sun Temple would be maybe a card that you're kind of building your entire deck around and running a lot of cheap monkeys and really trying to set this up as your defense. So it certainly would be a way, since you're only allowed to run 1 copy of an ultra rare per deck, this would definitely be a way of guaranteeing that you'll be, more likely, obviously, to get that card, that build around card, ultra rare card. From your deck. Obviously, there's a lot of other ultra rare monkeys that you'll be able to grab, depending on exactly what you need. The next card is Max Heal. So Max Heal is target non-large balloon is healed for 100. So again, it's not going to, large balloons would be things like Moab. Moab's like the really, really big ones, and this will, you can't target those, but it will be able to target some other ones, let's say even advanced balloons, be able to heal them. So again, if you're, running some double balloons that your opponent is able to like damage on the board, this will instantly heal them up. You can sort of compare this card to Fortify. This one is 3 cost for 100. Fortify is 2 cost for 50. So if your balloon is damaged, it will be a better deal to use Max Heal. I really don't think that Max Heal itself, though, is going to really see a lot of play, because the only way that this is going to really add damage is if something is damaged already. I guess if you're running like and it doesn't work with the Moab, so I guess if you have a bunch of like ceramic balloons that are kind of slowly like growing and, leaking to your opponent's face, this would just be a kind of a quick way to add 100 damage if they're, it has to be basically slow balloons that have been taking damage. That's when this is going to be useful. I mean, essentially, it's kind of like a 3 cost pink balloon worth of damage, so who knows? Maybe this will see some play. Here's a card that I really like, using several of these on a ceramic balloon. Maybe it'll be good. Here's a card I really, really like. Here's Monkey Investigator. So 3 cost, it does 35 damage every turn as a defensive monkey. Plus, on play, draw a random balloon from your deck. So it's not only a card draw card, but it's a targeted card draw card, specifically drawing a balloon. So this will be yet another card that you are able to target one specific balloon in your deck. If you're only, let's say the only balloon in your entire deck is just double ceramic, and your whole deck is based around making a combo with this and double quick ready, The Monkey Investigator will automatically draw this from your deck. But even if you're not running a combo deck, even if you're really just running, again, just Moabs and late game control, this is an early game card that does a decent amount of damage. I think for targeted damage for 3 costs, this is more or less where it should be doing 35 damage per turn, as opposed to mortars that you can't target. And then this is also not going to be a liability. Like, early game monkeys are kind of a liability because they're not giving you something that's useful in the late game that control decks really need. But this is not a liability. It's always drawing you something. And, this could draw just one of your Moabs or one of your big finishers. So it would be a really good card to kind of get in your early hand during your mulligan, and it won't cost you anything in terms of your card advantage. So I really absolutely love this card, and I'm really looking forward to seeing, you can play this maybe with Bloon reinforcements, and it'll just be another way of getting like a pink Bloon from your deck. Really excited to investigate what kind of combos we'll be able to do with this really, really cool, all around very, very strong Monkus. Next card is going to be Signal Balloon. So this is going to be, again, yet another card that has a targeted draw from your deck. On play, draw a large Bloon from your deck. So if you look really quickly, like which Bloons are large, you'll be able to see it's kind of just like the Moabs. You have Emboldened Bloon. You have a couple of weird ones. It doesn't seem like most of these are going to be things that you really want to target to be able to grab from your deck. Like, Moab and BFB have several charges anyway, so I'm not really sure if Signal Balloon will be used in that way. The one card that really catches my eye, though, is Strengthenator. That this is an ultra rare card. It's also, again, large, so it will be hit by Signal Balloon. And, you can build a whole deck around this where you have your Strengthenator and you're keeping it alive in your back line, and it's really going to be just pumping in health into the rest of your Bloons every single turn. So something like that, a deck that's really built around Strengthenator, I really think that Signal Balloon will be a really important part of that deck, just to be able to target it and be able to grab it from your deck more consistently. Emboldened Bloon maybe also in a Swarm deck, if it's really relying on, you can play like 1 cost 300, so be able to grab like several Emboldened Bloons from your deck using the Signal Balloon. Maybe something like that could be useful. Otherwise, it's 3 costs, only has 50 health, so it's really not giving you a ton. I guess it gives you 3 Bloontonium though, so that's something. Next is Slowing Bloon. Here's a good card. This is going to be exactly the same as Yellow Bloon. It's 3 costs 140. Instead of having a delay of 1, it has a delay of 3, so it's obviously not going to be an aggressive card like Yellow Bloon is. However, it is a defensive card that you can target one of your opponent's Bloons and increase the delay by 1. I think this is incredibly useful. It can really slow down your opponents until you're able to, if you're Gwendolyn, set up a huge field clear play, or really just really target threats that you're not able to deal with this turn, but maybe you'll be able to deal with next turn. For 3 costs, if you just compare this to, Quick Ready, that costs 6, that speeds up a Bloon by 1. So this is going to be only a 3 cost to slow one down. I know it's not a great comparison, but I think, again, this is a lot of value for a 3 cost card. You're also getting 2 charges, so you can use it several times in order to really mess up one of your opponent's cards. And the last 3 cost card that was added to the game is Try This. Target monkey gains 1 ammo. And I tested this, and this 100% works on mortars. This card is going to be way more useful on a card that does all of its damage in 1 shot, because this will effectively double the card. So if you are going to be playing this on your Burning Stuff mortar, the way that this works is the mortars empty all of their ammo at the end of a turn. So if one of these have 2 ammo, it's just going to do 2 random shots. So you're really thinking, first of all, Try This. Let's just think on Burning Stuff mortar, this middle card, and it's going to be 3 cost, essentially making anyway a pretty overpowered card in the Burning Stuff mortar, being able to, have a really strong 4 cost just for 3. It's essentially doubling the card. There's another thing it does, is that it doesn't absorb a monkey slot. So this is making your current monkeys do a lot more, and you're able to actually have more defense on the board all at one time. Because Try This does work on mortars. I absolutely think this is going to be meta. I think Burning Stuff Mortar is a card that is just running pretty much Mortar Monkey 2, basically running every kind of defensive deck, so you'll always be able to find value. You can play several Try This. You can run as many of these as you want, because again, there's no limit to how many times you can play this on one card. You played this 2 times on a Burning Stuff Mortar. Now that Burning Stuff Mortar has 3 ammo, it's going to be really, you're going to have 3 of them absorbing and all sitting in one monkey slot, which is just absolutely fantastic. And especially if you are running the big boy, the big one, which is really going to be adding 140 damage every turn. So Try This is 3 cost 140 every single turn. This card itself wants just to make me, it makes me want to craft the big one just to be able to use it on this. This will probably be the ultimate combo. Try This on the big one. Really excited, and I think instantly, especially because Try This is I believe it's a common card. This is super cheap. It's the cheapest card in the game. This will instantly become meta, especially once people catch on that it works on mortars. It's going to be really, really, really strong. The next card is going to be Energy Overload. Obviously, okay, let's move on. Energy Overload is going to be, okay. This says destroy target balloon with shield. This is going to be a specific Adora card, one of her hero cards. So I really don't think this is good enough, because if you just look up, like, how do balloons get shield? It's 4 costs, destroy the guy that has shield. Like, okay, so you have Amelia's ability that gives the backline shield every turn, so it'll be kind of like a hard counter to Amelia decks, but other than that, you have, you know, the Pack Protection, which is from Amelia, and you also have Bubble Time, which again, specifically Amelia. These are all giving 50 shield to your face. It's not going to matter. You have just Draining Balloon and Shield Gas Balloon that make the possibility of there being a shielded balloon on the board. I really don't think that, unless you're, you know, making a deck to specifically target hard counter Amelia, I really don't think Energy Overload is going to be worth it. I would really like to see this deck be more versatile, that would say, you know, deal 150 damage to a balloon, and if that balloon has the shield, instead destroy it. Like, so it won't just completely brick against most decks that will never have a shielded balloon ever, ever, ever. This will then again at least be able to the only justification would be to target Amelia, but at least you could actually possibly run an attack, because it won't completely break when you're facing a non-Amelia or shield scheme, shield balloon scheme hero. Unless they're planning on adding a lot more balloons with shield in it, this doesn't really seem to have any chance of having any playability in its current state. The last card is Moab Dominator. So this is on play. When you play this card, it's going to increase one of your opponent's large balloons, like one of their Moabs, delay by 2. So this essentially is doing 225 damage every 2 turns. We'll say about 110, 115 damage per turn, which is pretty respectable for a 10 cost card. Since it's targeted, you're able to spread it around to 3 balloons, but this also will be delaying one of your opponent's big finishers. If one of these huge Moabs you haven't been able to deal with has ticked down to 1 already, or to 0, then you're going to be able to play this and stall for another couple of turns until you're able to deal with it. We'll see if this is going to be super useful, but again, it's doing plenty of damage, so the extra ability of increasing a large balloon, especially in a meta where there's a lot of people, you know, running a lot of late game decks with Moabs in it. This will definitely be a niche card, but it'll definitely have a use. Besides for those, they really added a lot of extra feats and a lot of ways to gain some tokens. They've been adding in this update and in the last one, be able to progress and be able to grind the game better. I'm really happy. As you know, I've taken like a little bit of a break from Bloons Cardstorm recently. I was really waiting for this update, the ranked mode, in order to jump back into it, because I really wanted to play the game in a state where the day-to-day grind was very satisfying, and I really do. I've been playing ranked mode, and I've been absolutely loving it. I really think that them adding ranked, especially again with some rewards, but even without that, just the fact that you're accomplishing something every game that you win, it really adds a lot to the day-to-day. This really feels like a much more polished and finished full version of Bloons Cardstorm that we were waiting for, and I'm really excited to not only make update videos like this, but especially to make gameplay videos, making creative decks with Adora and all the one-turn kill combo decks that they seem to be really encouraging us to make with this last patch and mini set of cards. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. That was all of the new changes to Bloons Cardstorm. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. This is Fry.